Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Let's get our first guest on. This video is by an artist that I'll be speaking to for the next hour, and who'll also be playing a live session with me. I'm so excited. This is by Rise Bailey Rise, and this is called The Science of Rainbows. Let's have it.
In order to understand the origin of rainbows, we need to understand the nature of light and how light interacts with the materials it encounters, such as what happens when a beam of light from the sun hits a dielectric material, such as a spherical drop of water. Transmission of the light ray across the dielectric boundary occurs according to Snell's law in the form of n air sine theta I equals n water sine theta t. The transmitted refracted light then continues through the water unimpeded until it strikes the rear surface of the drop, where reflection and transmission of the ray across the water-air boundary now occurs again.
So beautiful.
Moreover, at critical angles, total internal reflection occurs, such that there will be no transmitted component at all for such angles.
What does this mean?
Sometimes the light will remain trapped within the raindrop by bouncing around, but there are occasions when it passes across the interface and once more into the air. It can be shown geometrically, together with Snell's law, that the transmitted light emerges into the air at an angle of theta I normal to the surface of the raindrop. However, there are many rays of light and many water droplets making up the cloud, and each small drop contributes to the effect of the whole rainbow arc. A rainbow's bow shape originates from the rotational symmetry of raindrop. Furthermore, the colours of the rainbow, from the red outside the arc to the blue on the inner side of the arc, are a result of the observer seeing the effect of refraction and reflection involving a multitude of water droplets in all parts of the observed sky.
So beautiful.
Therefore, each observed rainbow has its own unique perspective.
Rise Bailey Rise,
Hello.
welcome to the Billy Nomad show. How you doing, man?
Good, man.
It's a long time no see. I
Yeah.
kind of see you floating around.
I thought I'd
occasionally.
grown my hair, but you've done better.
You've actually, I didn't realise that you could grow hair because you've always been bald as far as I was
Yeah.
concerned. You were in the bald head club with like JJ King,
Exactly.
John Alexander.
The problem is that they've kicked me out the Right Said Fred tribute act now.
It's not fair. They should just relax, man. They
I should have
just
thought it
relax.
through, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. How are you?
I'm
What's your real name?
Rich.
Rich. So we've got 2 Richards here.
Yeah, we have.
We have 3 Richards here. We have Richard Harvey. We have wearing his exclusive Billy Nomad show T-shirt, which he won last month in the competition.
I have my Jeff T-shirt on.
Oh man, we really need to save Jeff. We'll get into that. I want your interview today to be solely talking about saving Jeff, and we could do sort of like a band-aid thing. We'll call it Rich Aid, because we've got Richard Fisher over here, Richard Patmore over here. We have Richard Harvey. Rob, do you want to change your name to Rich?
I'll be Rich for the day.
Yeah, Jasmine. Yeah, Richard Burns. No, there really isn't.
Rachel, I think.
Rachel. Yeah, you could be Rachel. All right, fair enough. So you're a musician, or are you a musician producer? Because that isn't sort of like, you didn't do that with the guitar, did you?
I'm not really a producer, but I do produce my own stuff. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So
And my brothers.
So by that you mean you don't produce other people's stuff?
Not particularly.
Okay, that's
Apart from
a
the
blatant
remixes.
lie. I was about to say, because like a lot of what I see you do these days is remixes. You've just done a Forester Falls remix.
Yeah. And Candidates as well.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
Candidates.
Candidates. Yeah.
Steve Wells,
Candidates are really good, man. I haven't listened to a lot of them, but every time I listen to them, I'm like, that's so good. Yeah. When did you put that out? The Candidates remix? That wasn't that long
only
ago.
a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I figured. So it's just gone up, and it's very cool. I feel like I maybe should have played that on the show today.
That would have made sense. What would have been the recent thing?
I tried to keep it visual, and it's just a picture of Steve Wells' face like splattered on the screen. I'm like, that's not pleasurable for 3 minutes. Like, no one wants that. If we wanted that, we will have him here on the show at some point, and then you can have his face for as long as he has it on there for. So you produce music as well. How do you do that?
Do it all at home. I use Ableton Live, which I
Ableton
love.
Live.
'Cause
That's the question.
It's like a toy.
Yeah.
It is to me anyway.
I use Fruity Loops because
Okay.
it's got a fun name.
Yeah,
It's got like a kid's toy name.
And it must be good for you because it's got fruit in it.
It's got fruit in it. It's one of my 5 a day.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I if I go through and I make 5 tracks in a day, as long as I make them on Fruity Loops,
Yeah.
I've survived another healthy season of music making.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here, folks.
Folks.
I'm tripping over my words today. I'm terrible. So what do I want to talk to you about? So that video, the science of making a rainbow. Oh no, it's the science of
rainbows. Yeah.
The science of rainbows.
Yeah.
Now that obviously you put the instrumental track together.
Yeah.
Who does the voiceover on that?
So that's my friend Jan. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you, Jan.
So as I was saying to the other Richard, originally I came up with this idea. So there was rainbows are cool because they're pretty, but there's a lot of science that goes behind it. And then there was the double rainbow guy from YouTube.
Yeah.
And I kind of just put all those things together and kind of wanted a nice sounding track, but with some quite hard science in it as well.
Right.
Kind of mix it all up.
Something to be more interesting rather
Yeah.
than just art for art's sake.
So originally I stole like a lecture from the OU or somewhere,
Right.
but I didn't really want to use that because I've got quite a big conscience. So
yeah, you don't want to just steal someone else's work and
No,
pass it off as your own, do
exactly.
you?
So I spoke to my friend Jan, who's a very clever lady, and I said, "Is there any chance you could write your own piece about rainbows?"
Mhm.
So she went away and did, and then I said, "Could you read it as well?" And she said, "What?"
There's a lot of long words in here, Jan. Could you maybe read this?
Yeah, and luckily she did.
So she didn't expect to be a music star.
No.
She was just like thrown into it.
She got a little bit upset because I had to chop out. There's a hell of a lot more.
Right.
I should do the extended mix one day with
I
all
think
the
you
science.
should. Yeah. Have you ever seen a guy around here called Moss Chops?
That sounds very familiar. Yeah.
Moss Chops. He was like
waving
a
at me?
hip hop. No, there's a fly in my face. Hello, Richard. No, I was waving away a fly. I didn't want to kill it. I'm trying to follow Buddhist principles at the moment, so I just thought I'd move it away with my hand like a Jedi.
That's nice.
You don't want to touch my face. What was I saying? Yeah, Moss Chops. He does like hip hop mixing and scratching and all of that, and he has a lot of analog equipment that he uses from back in the day. And he does something called the Science of Hip Hop, which is a really cool set. So he mixes all these science samples and explanations through sort of hip hop music.
That
through
sounds
sort of
right
like,
up my street.
yeah, man, you'd like it. Look it up on YouTube.
I
You'll
will.
love it. So so that's available on YouTube anyway. The Science of Rainbows.
Yeah.
Like, where else do you release your music?
I tend to put stuff on iTunes and Spotify and everywhere. I haven't done with this latest stuff. I don't know why not. It's a very good question.
Have you got the licensing permission and all of that? It's one
Well,
thing just making it and putting it out there, but then
yeah,
sort of like
I think-
that's a bit of a cesspool of
Yeah, I mean,
music law.
yeah, exactly. I think that's why I don't do it.
Yeah.
I just get scared and
Well, yeah, I imagine if you talk to Forester Falls and you talk to candidates and you say,
Yeah.
hey guys, that you guys represent yourselves, you're doing it for yourselves, how about we,
Yeah, I
you
did
scratch
wonder
my
about-
back, I'll scratch yours.
So that we could do like a remix EP or something. But like you say, you need to do that in collaboration with the other acts, obviously.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we'll see.
And you actually sent me something this year, I think. I don't know if it's the beginning of this year or
yeah.
last year. City Rains.
Yeah.
Which was just sort of like a few samples that the mood was there, just the mix wasn't
Exactly,
there yet.
yeah.
And I've taken that and I've chopped it up and I've turned it into something that sounds like it's from like the soundtrack of a horror film.
It
at the
does, yeah.
moment.
I like it.
I'm still waiting to get around to doing something with that. But it's interesting how, as a creative person, you might have loads of ideas, and only some of those ideas will ever make it to
Yeah,
market,
absolutely.
if that makes
Yeah,
sense. So have you got like an Aphex Twin like style archive of songs that
I
you've
have
worked on? and-
ridiculous amount of stuff.
Yeah.
But in all formats. So I have an Evernote on my phone, just a notepad document, which is just scroll through, and it's just like lyrical ideas or titles for stuff, which I've putting stuff in there all the time, constantly. Plus, there's my audio memos on my phone, which are just full of stupid ideas I come up with in the shower or whatever. Then there's the stuff I actually start recording, or the stuff I sent you was stuff I did on the iPad,
Right,
just
okay.
in an app, and there's just stuff everywhere. So
yeah, got it.
I don't think there's any danger of running out of ideas.
Just this constant part of your life, just
Yeah.
constantly putting music out there, taking music in.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And I actually read an interview that you did with, I can't really
I
say
don't
it,
know how you say
Desiratum Collective. Yeah, you need to have a go at
that.
that Thomas guy and tell him to
Bloody
change
Thomas
the name
Milton.
so that it's Thomas Milton, that's his name. So change it so it's got some pronounceable sort
I
of
agree.
phonics in it.
Or change it to like Desmond something.
Desiratum, that's what I'm going to call it now, Desiratum.
I'm with you on that.
Something like that. But you did an interview with them anyway where you talked about your process, and it very much does seem to be like that. Like, you very much start off in the flow, you're constantly collecting up these ideas
Exactly,
on your phone and stuff. So when you came up with Circle for a Sun,
Yeah.
like, where did that come from?
That was
Where
actually
the origin for that?
that was from my daughter. So she had drawn a picture at nursery or somewhere, and then she said to me, "Look, I drew a circle for the sun, or circle for a sun." And I was like,
There's
"That's a good
in
line."
there.
And so it goes in the phone. And then at some point, I thought, "Oh, I need to write that."
Okay.
And then so the whole song then is about. It's kind of a combination of both my daughters, to be honest.
I was listening to the lyrics through the first verse, and it is about her just drawing a picture.
Yeah, it's
isn't it?
about the picture she drew initially, so I'm just describing it. And then it's more about kids kind of growing up with that wonderful sort of ignorance of. I mean, there's a line in there that gravity is yet to wear her thin. It's like the world hasn't worn her down yet. It's
yeah,
about
definitely.
possibility and kind of climbing trees.
Climbing trees that that she's
you-
told that she can't climb, but
Yeah.
she does it anyway. Yeah, got you.
So it's all about that.
It's
good
about
stuff.
sort of like maintaining that childhood innocence.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Something like that. I think that's
Something
what
like
I
that.
get from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's play that. Rich, let's have Circle for a Sun. This is Circle for a Sun by Rise Bailey Rise. We'll be right back.
She starts with crayon shaky lines, just draws the things that spring to mind. A red box with a triangle aloft, a blue line for sky across the top. You see, she's not scared to begin. The gravity is yet to wear her thin. She adds an M down to that sky. Now there's a river running by. She draws a circle for a sun. Oh, a circle for a sun. Oh, a circle for a sun. Oh, a circle for a sun. And it shines and she shines. Oh. She breathes to creativity. She jumps from walls, she's running free. Hers is a life that needs no break. 'Cause she's not afraid to make mistakes. She draws a tree that she's not afraid to climb. She scrapes her shin, but circle for a sun. Oh, a circle for a sun. Oh, a circle for a sun. Oh, a circle for a sun. And it shines and she shines. Oh, she draws a circle for a sun. Oh, she draws a circle for a sun. Oh, she draws a circle for a sun. Oh, and it shines and she shines. Oh, so she knows that now's the time. She decides that she won't hide. That she knows that she is right. And she shines and we shine. Circle for a sun, circle for a sun. Circle for a sun, circle for a sun. Circle for a sun, circle for a sun. Circle for a sun, circle for a sun.
There from Rise Bailey Rise. It's a good way to end a song, I find. It's just instead of trying to make it finish nicely and resolve it, just go finish.
That comes from the loop pedal, you see.
Is
Like,
it?
'cause you-
Oh, I suppose you've only got like a stamp, so like that's what I want to talk about. So you do a lot of your work with the loop pedal, right?
I do, yeah.
And
Well,
especially
live anyway,
more
yeah.
now, yeah. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So when you're recording your stuff, you obviously do
Not
it
a
all
loop
raw,
pedal inside.
like no, just sort of like put it in.
I think
bit
people
by
do
bit by
imagine
bit.
that I sit in a studio with my loop pedal and record the songs. I really don't do that.
Well, the next video I'm going to show, not right now, but the next video I'm going to show contradicts that fact entirely because it's just you sitting in a studio full of full of loop pedals.
Damn it.
Well, I think it's your living room anyway, but you know it's close enough to a studio. So, what is it about the loop pedal that attracts you? Like,
Shall I be brutally honest?
yeah,
It's not having to have a band.
really.
Yeah.
It's just being able to go. Do you know what? Lay down a bit of percussion first.
Yeah.
Bass line.
Yeah.
Like
And just
few
get on
lead
with it.
bits.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's cool.
Because I can be surprisingly antisocial, and I mean, what it really came from is like having kids and not really wanting anyone to have to rely on me either. You know, so I don't have to rely on anyone else, and no one else has to rely on me. So I haven't got a band that I'm worrying about. You know, if I have to cancel a gig because I can't make it, I cancel it or I don't do it. You know,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just
It's
entirely
the-
on my shoulders.
Well, yeah. On the flip side, that having a big band to manage does mean a lot of cancelled shows, a lot of like having to get
Exactly.
like members to fill in for a day or two, and
yeah,
sort of,
I don't know how
I
you do it.
suppose.
I mean,
I don't.
I know
mean,
that
the
the-
last couple of years, I mean, it's gone to the point where it's like, nah, maybe
Yeah.
not so much.
I know the result. The result, I guess, justifies the effort that goes into it. I mean, I miss the sound of a band. Don't get me wrong. I hate doing those songs live.
Well, there's
just me
nothing
in
like
one way, you know.
being on a stage and turning around and seeing other members and have a
Exactly.
little dance. I
And
mean, you also do some work with Starlings and Sparrows,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
brother's band, right?
Yes, yeah.
So that must fill in a bit of that.
It does a bit. I mean, it's funny because people say it's a band, but I guess we don't really consider that it is because we just turn up and play a lot of the time. We don't.
It's a jam session on
Yeah,
that happens on
really,
the
it's just
stage.
a bit of a laugh. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and,
got ya.
But it's good fun, and I
But
love
it
vocal
sounds
harmonies.
beautiful.
So,
yeah. So that's you, Ellie, your brother Dan.
Yeah. Sometimes Kaidman on drums.
Yeah, got you. Yeah.
And
It's
whoever
cool,
else
man.
is passing, to be fair.
Whoever's been, I think I stood in for a gig and sang like completely
Oh, yeah.
like out of tune with Dan.
Yeah, and Freddie's
it's-
done a bit as well.
Yeah,
Freddie Armstrong.
Freddie
and,
Armstrong's done a bit. It's
Yeah, there's a few.
a bit like the Common Army, is it?
Yeah,
We have
exactly.
a lot of these collectives jumping up through Milton Keynes.
Don't hit the mic.
Yeah, I hit the mic. It's too sorry. Yeah, so we have a lot of these little collectives. Proper. I mean, Project Noise itself has been for about 50 members, and sort of like they've just going through another basis. They're now on the hunt
Funny
again.
you should mention them because I'm supposed to be doing a remix of them. Jim, where are the stems, man?
Yeah, where are the
Where are they?
Where are the stems to the remix?
Have you got them here? Are they here now?
Like a Rise Bailey Rise remix. You just get them down here, mate.
I mean, if you don't want it, then it's fine. But come on, no? I'm here.
Such a celebrity diva. Yeah. So, what are you up to at the moment?
What am I doing? I'm working on another remix for Gwen and the Good Thing, so that's good fun.
I teach with Gwen.
Ah, yes, at the Rock Project.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
She
So
does the singling. Yeah, I haven't listened to Gwen and the Good Thing.
Yeah.
You know, like Ellie said to me when she first figured out she'd be working with Gwen, it was like a fangirling moment. Like, oh my god, that's Gwen from Gwen and the Good Thing. I've never heard them.
Yeah.
So I just sort of like treat her like shit, like I treat everyone else. So
No, they're proper.
yeah, I figured they're actually a real band. They actually do real work. You know?
They're very good.
Yeah.
So yes, that's good fun. Maybe I might do a Project Noise remix.
Yeah. If
Jim.
Jim sends the stems.
There's a few other people that asked about remixes. I'm trying to think of that.
Yeah. I think you'll have to do one off of my new album.
Well,
Although
exactly.
my new album's just me and a guitar, so it might be a bit of a.
Well, I can add some
Some post effects.
dirty stuff to it.
Just that's some dirty phase to my vocal. I
I was in the studio with my brother yesterday, so we started recording one of the Starlings and Sparrows songs. So
Oh, yeah.
that was good fun.
Can you tell me which one?
Lightning Boy.
Oh, Lightning Boy. That is a
Yeah,
classic.
I like
yeah.
that one. I'm doing my EP. I should talk about my EP, shouldn't
You
I?
really should.
'Cause,
Yeah. When I'm asking you, what are you up to? I'm not asking you like sort of
yeah,
about
I
all
like
the
to
help
reflect
you're
on other
providing.
people, really. A bit
Yeah, you
like that
bloody
window with the sun.
philanthropist.
Like,
Yeah. It's getting higher up as well, isn't it? I feel like this was the worst position for us to set up our guests. But it's a bit like an interrogation now. I like it.
yeah, so I am writing a new EP at the minute, which is called Unless and Until. And I don't know how many tracks it will have on it, maybe 5 or 6. So my last EPs were all 4-track ones, and there was 1 or 4, 2 or 4, 3 or 4, 4 or 4. So I'm just going to get away from the whole 4 thing and maybe have 6 tracks. But it's a lot more electronic now.
Okay.
There's still guitars on there, but the basis of it all is a lot more dirty.
EDM and dirty.
Yeah, I mean, still kind of mid-paced. And
So it's not dancey, really.
no,
it's
it
sort
is
of
more
very
low
much
tempo.
more mood music.
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
But we'll see.
I look forward to that. That
So,
should
yeah.
be interesting. You do seem to have gone from being like a happy chappy with an acoustic guitar to being sort of like when you sent me City Rains, I was like, is this really Rise Bailey Rise?
Yeah. I think the thing is, I guess like yourself, I get so many ideas. Like they don't all fit
No, yeah,
into
absolutely.
something, and
yeah.
so I'm kind of just exploring that. And I'm kind of not that I get bored of it, but it's nice to change things around, isn't it? You know. And,
Absolutely,
and at
yeah.
the moment, the electronic stuff is exciting. So
Yeah, I
Go
know what
with
you
that.
mean. Keeps the blood flowing, doesn't
yeah,
it?
exactly. So it's all good fun. The fact is, I'm loving it. I'm loving music more than ever. So,
So when did you start using the loop pedal?
about 6 or 7 years ago, I think.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
my brother's just got on, and it's a tricky beast.
It can be, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm lucky. The one I got, I mean, it was stupidly expensive, but I sold my guitar amp to get it. I made a real commitment.
I was about to say, selling you a guitar to get it would have been. I'm glad you threw amp in there.
Yeah, guitar amp.
Yeah.
But because it's got the little low format pedals, it's quite easy to get it on the beat. You know,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
really moving very much.
Uh-huh.
Some of
Yeah.
the smaller ones have actually got the old traditional.
Seen a
Boss
lot of gigs,
string.
yeah, where it's like the punch button things, and you get someone sort of like they go to step on it, it doesn't respond, and that's the whole track ruined.
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
Sort of like, yeah.
Yeah.
you
I mean,
can't
I
be
still
doing
ruin
that.
my tracks on
Yeah?
a regular basis, but
I think I've only ever seen. No, it wasn't you. It was Tony Hill. I saw
okay.
Tony Hill really sort of like at one point just sort of like give up on a track
yeah,
and go, no, I'm not doing that one tonight.
yeah, I have to do that quite frequently. but-
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I
it's
write
okay.
it into my show, to be fair, so people can see how difficult it is.
Yeah, yeah, got ya. So like, here we go. I want to make sure that I fail tonight, just so like, yeah. So what's your most challenging song with the loop pedal?
It'd be one of the ones where I use more of the channels. So something like Sometimer, where I start a beat and then I record a half-time version of the beat on another channel, and then I need to remember to go
Oh,
back to the
wow.
original channel, so that when I stop that channel,
Yeah.
the half-time beat is there, and it's just a bit of a pain.
Sounds nightmare. So it's like synchronizing up something that's in one sort of speed, and then
Yeah.
going to something that's half the speed, and
Yeah.
then going back to something
and then
that's twice
remembering
the
to
speed.
it's remembering
Oh.
to be in the right place, so that when I hit the stop button, the right thing is stopping, and the right thing is carrying on.
It's like being a live DJ, I suppose. When you've got all that
Yeah.
equipment up in front of you, you've got to be
quite
remembering to do all the right things at the
challenging
right
at
time.
times. And that's we'll go back to the whole band thing. That's the thing I really miss, is I can't really rock out when I play because I'm concentrating too much on and I'm looking down a lot as well. And I can't help that.
I got you.
know,
You're kind of
so-
trapped in your own presence.
Yeah,
there,
exactly. And you can't really run around the stage because I've got to be where the pedal is.
Well, absolutely, yeah. Well, a lot of the old rock bands, they used to have someone who was like their pedal specialist. So all their pedals would be
Yeah,
set
yeah.
up off stage. They'd be able to rock out as much as possible.
Yeah.
This guy would just have to remember, okay, I want to press that one now.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you need. I'll happily do it for you.
You know how I was saying how like I'm a bit antisocial and I don't want a band.
Yeah.
And I don't
Also
like relying
don't want a
I don't want
technician.
to rely on anyone else.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were saying that a minute ago, weren't you? Yeah, okay, fair enough. Well, let's have this last video from you, and then let's have a live session. I'm interested to hear you play. So this track, talk to me about it. This is called "Style Over Substance."
Oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
my little dig at reality TV, like music shows.
Nice.
So
like this.
No, I like X Factor and all that nonsense. In fact, there is a line in there which is something about the factory floor,
Right.
and that is about X Factor, and it's just
Oh, you have feelings. Shall we hear those feelings?
I get frustrated when you see these kids on there. First of all, saying I've wanted to be a singer my whole life, and they're 12.
Yeah.
It's like, fair enough.
Okay.
And then the fact that they always say this is my last chance.
What?
It's like, what are you talking about?
Failure,
Like, if
it's
I don't
like
get
defeat before-
instant fame from Mr. Cowell, then I'm going to give up singing. It's like, what nonsense is that?
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a line in there as well, which is, there are no last chances, do this forever.
Do you think that's a big issue with like the music industry generally? That a lot of people are disenfranchised by it, and they live in a bit of a fantasy.
Well, I think that, it's the mainstream, isn't it? I mean, I like mainstream music. I'm a pop bitch at heart, I really am. But at the same time, there's a hell of a lot more music in the world than that stuff you see up here. You know, there's people down here earning a living and doing for real, and
Of course.
they have fan bases and they're doing it.
Yeah,
You don't have to be Rihanna, do you?
No,
It's
no,
like-
of course, yeah. It
people
does
don't
seem
s-
to be all or nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to have the major successes to actually be doing it as a job. And
And I think it's
I watched-
splitting out celebrity and music as well. Like,
well, exactly. I mean, I watched Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll, the Ian Jury story yesterday, and there's a great scene in that where he goes, "You'd think, looking at people like me, that we'd want this, that we want to be popular, that we want to be mobbed and all that, but we don't." Sort of like, you only have to look at Amy Winehouse. She killed herself because of that sort of environment. So, it can be dangerous. I think it is better in a way just to be happy with who you are and what
Exactly.
you're doing and do your own thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Go on then, let's have it. Let's have Style Over Substance. This is the loop pedal version, so
Ooh,
I'm very
nice.
interested to see this.
Scene is dead, long live the scene. She's the flavor of the week, some say. She won't last the day. Lights so bright behind the light. Emperor's clothes, you can't deny the shade. She's just a game. Start all over. Start all over. Substance. Make fame while the crowd still cares. Tomorrow they may not be there, so true. These curtains for you.
I've got that mic.
Have you? It's a good mic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are we in, Rich? Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Rise Bailey Rise.
Cut.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Rise Bailey Rise live on the Billy Nomad Show.
Missionaries gone, expel the sickness for King John, awaiting cargo spending sprees, recent myths and prophecies. Lady radio said he will come, King of America. Here I mountain sands, while ancestors regained youth, bleaching leaders arrested abuse. The radio said he will come, King of America. Here I know, after 2,000 years dead, waiting gone, it's there to see the around her waist. No one understands a word she says. Oh, she's my lady radio. Oh, she's my lady radio. She's my lady radio. Oh, 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 my lady radio. She's my lady. Thank you.
What was that one about?
Lady Radio, that's actually about...
Hang on. No, that's as far as it's going. Go on.
It's about a chapter in the God Delusion by Richard Dawkins.
Oh, right,
So
okay,
it's
interesting.
nice and light.
Yeah, got ya. That's a very interesting song. How long ago did you write that one?
Long time ago. Wrote that with Dan, my brother.
John Jaffa Cake, because
Oh, thank you.
we're not sponsored by Jaffa Cakes, but I'm hoping if I keep on feeding them to our audience and to our guests that we'll get sponsored by Jaffa Cakes.
But that song's about, they call them the cargo cults, and I think it's around Vanuatu and places where religions have been born like within living memory. And so there's like these deity kind of figures that have been around, but from only 20 years ago.
I mean, yeah, you look at a lot of the modern day cults and stuff. Like there was one for a documentary I watched by this guy who everyone known as Michael, the Messiah, you know, but by another name, can't remember what his real name was, but he'd set up a cult, sent them emails, sort of like updates, bulletins, and in one of them he was like, all of the young women in our church should feel comfortable laying naked with God, right? And lo and behold, all the young women in the church came and laid in his bed naked with him, and he went to court for it. So, but it strikes me how it's curious how those people saw him as a modern day Messiah.
Yeah.
There was clear evidence, clear proof that it was nothing of the sort, but they just ate it up, they believed it.
Yeah, I mean, in that song, there's I think David Attenborough's done a documentary on it as well, and I think there's a Christian guy arguing this guy, going, well, you've been waiting 19 years. If this guy was going to come back, he would have come back by now. Mm-hmm. And the guy says, you've been waiting 2,000 years. Which is why in the line...
Which is a fair point.
So in the song it says, after 2,000 years of waiting long, 19 really ain't that... No? There. Mm-hmm. After 2,000 years of waiting gone, it's fair to say 19 ain't that long.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I suppose.
You see?
So, play us another one.
I'm going to play a new one now. This is going to be on the new EP. This is called Poster Boy, and it's about imposter syndrome. So, yeah. Very
cool. I'll leave the Jaffa cakes there for you. I'm just going to go stand in the sun.
Nice. Don't forget your sun cream, yeah? How's it go? Any ideas? I think it's like that. It's pretty much...
Is that the song? Shall I come back?
I got it. Follow your absent mind and you may find you might just get there. Follow your absent mind. I said, oh, I'm the poster boy. I can't breathe, so don't you move any closer, boy. Every day this place gets worse. I try to breathe, but all I taste is dirt. I've got this syndrome in my brain. I'm not sure that I'm cut out for this game. You see, I lack the peace of mind. Confidence ain't something I call mine. I'm like the boy in his dad's suit. I'm out of my depth, I'm blaming you. The poster boy, I can't breathe, so don't you move any closer, boy. I said, I'm the poster boy. I can't breathe, so don't you move any closer, boy. See, my reputation precedes. I don't deserve to succeed. Charlatan, fake, I'm a crook, I'm a sham. It's to the close. Not make the man, so I think you're on to me. But I've been expecting you to speak out here, white boy. I'm the poster boy. Yeah, I'm the poster boy. I can't breathe, so don't you move any closer, boy. I said, oh, I'm the poster boy. I can't breathe, so don't you move any closer, boy. Follow your absent mind. Follow your absent mind. Follow your absent mind. I'm the poster boy. I'm the poster boy. I'm the poster boy. I'm the poster boy. This is why you shouldn't eat Jaffa cakes immediately before playing a song. Or you should at least finish eating them and swallowing them before you continue. This is a public service announcement. So get your head down, don't drown, focus, breathe. It's a means to an end. Play the machine, get your head down, don't drown, focus, breathe. So get your head down, don't drown, focus, breathe. It's a means to an end. Just play the machine, get your head down, 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 down. Hey, I'm the poster boy. I can't breathe, so don't you move any closer, boy. I said, oh, I'm the poster boy. Apologies for nearly choking partway through.
Choking on the Jaffa cake. Now, something we should really talk about, which we didn't actually talk about before, which I think is important to both of us, is Save Our Jeff. Save Our Jeff. Now, would you like to explain what's going on?
I have no idea what's going on.
You have no idea what's going on?
I have a little idea. But...
All right, so basically, Jeff, whose granddad was from Kent.
Yes.
You know,
we should make up a name for him.
Yeah, Granddad Jeff.
Yes.
Right, so Granddad Jeff, he lived and was born and raised in this country. Now, Jeff, who was born and raised in Canada, arguably, went, you know what, I'm going to go live in the UK, work there. He was working in Japan before. I'm going to go work and live in the UK. He's been here since 2003, right?
Yeah.
That's a long time. That's 15 years?
Yeah.
15 years?
Maybe
16 years. Yeah, I'm shit at maths. Now, he's been asked this year to pay £3,000 in order to remain for another term, basically. It's not indefinite leave to remain. It's pay us $3,000 and we might let you stay a little bit longer.
Just a little bit longer.
I was more thinking, if you leave me now. so basically, Jeff needs £3,000. So far, last time I checked last night, it was £1,388 out of £3,000 raised on GoFundMe. Go check it out. Go. I think the link is Jeff's Visa. So, but if you go on my Instagram profile, and the link is actually at the bottom of this page. Let's say bottom of this page, the bottom of this window. I can't remember what Instagram is. I think it's on the. It's going to be here. I think Instagram will be somewhere around here. So yeah, follow that, and yeah, go check out the link in my bio. Save Jeff. We need you to save our Jeff.
So I'm going to sing the song that I actually recorded with Jeff because.
I think it's appropriate.
Quite nicely, doesn't
it?
Yeah,
yeah, it does.
And it's called Brother Needs a Brother, which
brother needs a brother right now.
Apt.
Brother needs a brother.
Yeah, so he plays.
In fact, I'll tell you what I do. I know you're probably not going to like it, but if you give a donation right now, we're going to, instead of giving 50-50, 100% will go to Jeff. 100%. Just during this song. Just during this one song.
What am I committing to here?
You might lose £2.50 or
okay,
something, you know. So, yeah, like, he looks sad about that. Okay, here's the song for Jeff.
The song for Jeff.
The song for Jeff. I like it.
Yeah, how's it go?
Starts with E. Okay.
Yeah. My brother, no one know where he gone. I said, my brother, oh, his raven down come. I said, my brother, can I believe the things that he's done? I said, my brother, yes, my brother, oh, my brother needs a brother tonight. My brother, pray that rain gonna flow. I said, my brother, ain't on no futile game show. I said, my brother, his only friend is his echo. I said, my brother, yes, my brother, oh, my brother needs a brother, oh, brother, yes, my brother, oh, my brother needs a brother tonight. those freezing frames, rewind again, 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 again. Brother, yes, my brother, oh, my brother needs a brother, brother. Yes, my brother, oh, my brother needs a brother tonight. That one's for you, Jeff.
Well, I won't ask you what that one's about because it's pretty bloody obvious.
It's actually about the film 127 Hours.
Really? Well, I suppose, yeah, that guy really did need a brother. His
Yeah.
his arm was trapped, right?
Exactly.
I never saw that film, so I kind of figured that anything that was called 172 hours, like, I'd have to watch for 172 hours. Does that make sense?
Somehow they managed
made me
through
feel like
the
it's gonna-
magic of Hollywood to reduce it.
Probably to 3 hours, right? If the film's 3 hours, I can't handle it. I wish I was born in like 1920s when films were like half hour, 45 minutes long, and you were like, oh,
And they
that's
had
great.
no sound.
And they had no sound, exactly. Less to focus on. So have you got one more song for us?
You think, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Do you reckon you could pull one more out of your ass?
This is another new one.
Alright, what's this song called?
This is called. Okay, so this is called Unexploded, right? And
Right.
the hook uses the phrase unexploded bomb. So I'm a bit worried people might get a bit upset about that. But it's one that hasn't gone off.
Oh, okay,
so that's
yeah,
positive.
so no one's died.
Yeah, so, you know.
That's alright, well.
I read an article in Wired magazine about they still find them, all these bombs from World War II in London. You know,
They find them on the beaches all the time.
all over the place. So that's what kind of initially gave me the spark of the idea. So.
Oh, there you go, great, let's hear it. Right, this is Rise Baby Rise, was his very last song ever.
Yeah, this is it. It's been great, thanks.
Good luck.
Have you got any songs about bombs, Billy?
Sick and tired of listening to Bob.
It was going better when I was talking about Jeff, I think.
Yeah, just change the line.
This whole thing is getting all chemical. I brace myself cause I'm under attack. So I decide I'm gonna tread real careful. Cause where I'm going there ain't no way back. It's high time, it's high time that we fly. You are my unexploded. That awkward moment where I realised I'd mixed up all the lyrics between the two verses in that first verse. Now, do I try and unpick it? Or do I sing the second verse how it's supposed to go? Please tell me you can hear that ticking. I brace myself cause I'm under attack. I think the oxytocin just kicked in. Where I'm heading, there ain't no way back. It's high time that we fly. You deserve dopamine smile. I got a feeling that it's been a while. Yeah, you are my unexploded. You are, yeah, yeah, yeah. You are my unexploded. You are my unexploded. Oh, yeah.
your life, yeah. You are mine. You are mine. You are mine. Yeah.
Thank you.
Shove up, Winston. Ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time on the Billy Nomad show, Rise Bailey Rise.
Thank you.
Shake my hand, fella.
Cheers, dude.
Yeah, oh no, I've got you red-handed now.
Ah.
Do you want one of these t-shirts?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll get you one. Don't worry, I'll get you one. Yeah, let me know what you would like, a triple extra large or something.
Yeah, or a
You're
medium.
tall gent.